Design Leader Insights is brought to you by Fuego UX. Fuego UX is a leading UX research, strategy, and design consultancy.
Hey JB, thanks so much for joining the show today.
Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, sweet. Yeah, I think to get started, if you could give us a little bit of context into your journey in UX and design, that'd be helpful.
Sure, exactly. So I think, you know what, my probably first experience with design was like a while ago when I was 10 and I was disassembling computers. And I think metaphorically, it's probably the first experience. It's very far from what I'm doing right now. But, you know, disassembling computers, switching motherboard, hard drive in order to get something working at the end. And then after, I didn't make actually did some design studies. I studied and I have a master degree in engineering, computer engineering.
Nice.
And after that, actually, I really started to on my own really be very interested into first of all UX, and then after moving to intersection about UI and then product design. And I actually, after my studies, started to work mainly as a freelance. So for a lot of various topics, so from e-commerce to public sector through also fashion and arts, and most recently banks and fintechs. To around 2015, I also ran an early stage startup that was an app that I designed, and actually the first version of it, I've developed it with it was the first version of Swift,
Okay.
as a mobile app. And the goal of that was really to find trendy places around the world. So the use case is really you are outside, you are in a new city, you open the app and you find places that are popular and that are open nearby. It was a fun time, and it was extremely interesting to also run this startup, run this company until the really beginning of COVID, when I was focused on other clients. Plus, there was no actual business model behind. I mean, I couldn't find it, so needed to
Yeah,
move on. So it was a great experience.
travel kind of died then, which sucks. But let's switch gears to what you're up to now. I think you're at BPI France, which works with entrepreneurs, and it's kind of like an incubator. I don't know. Help me understand what it does and what it is.
So today I'm the head of design at Bpifrance. And what is Bpifrance is basically, so it's a bank, and it has been created by the French presidency 10 years ago. And what we are doing is we are helping entrepreneurs. So we are focusing on the entire life cycle of entrepreneurs. So from company creators, so company that doesn't exist, to company that goes abroad. So that's full spectrum
Yeah.
of the life of the entrepreneur. And the thing that is interesting is we are a bank. So obviously we are financing, we are helping with like loans, grants, imprints, something like that. But also we have beyond banking solutions. So we are helping entrepreneurs by connecting them together, doing mentoring solutions with them, helping them to progress on, I don't know, like cybersecurity, green transition, topic that goes really beyond just like financial solutions, actually.
Mhm.
And since it's half owned by the French state, we do have this, really strong general interest mission. So we need, and we have this ability, and we demonstrate result to really enhance the country's, economical fabric, produce more and more innovative companies, and just be really a kind of a toolbox for entrepreneurs.
I imagine BPI has been around a while, and then all of a sudden they realized they needed to digitize, which is what every bank ever needs to do still. So tell me about that and growing a team there to accomplish that.
Um, I think it's so interesting because your relationship with banks and finance in general is interestingly linked to your emotions. I mean, on the personal side, your finance can be stressful, it can be
Yeah.
joyful, it can be something you can use to go abroad or visit places, or depending on your housing and your life in general. So it's interesting to see that. And on the business side, it's the same thing. Plus, and you have your company, so you know what it is. I mean, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. You are often, I mean, this is a real thing. The loneliness of entrepreneurs, the
Yeah.
administrative burdens, the financial stress, also of are you being able to pay your employees at the end of the month, or to run your business. we are a bank, business bank, but the complexity we have is that we do not have credit cards. We do not have business accounts. So we do have like additional, challenge of, for example, drive recurring behavior or, have, scale our adoption of our product because we are only focused on the investment part and basically the financial part. So how do you get a loan? So basically what we focus today is how do we help our clients to access easily to, funding solutions or beyond banking solutions. Then after, when they can manage their loan, so you are a founder, you can delegate to your CFO. Your CFO can track, in real time your, next monthly installments or thing like that online on online bank experience. And then after you can also access to, I was mentioning beyond banking solution, but we also have teams within the bank that creates podcasts, contents, studies for entrepreneurs, and we can distribute those contents also on a digital, experience on this way.
JB, yeah, we were both at Convey UX in Seattle. And there was this talk by, I think it was JPMC, JP Morgan Chase, and
Yeah,
one of
Matt.
the product. Yeah, and it was a great talk. And one of his examples, I think, was the and a similar space, more like I guess investment banking was an error that someone made because of a poorly designed interface in banking that cost the company $900 million, right? And you say that to like a CEO or CFO, they're like, yeah, I see the value of design, right? Like we need to make sure that doesn't happen. So I guess when you talk about design as a strategic asset, is it how do you sell that to the higher ups? Is it like, hey, there's massive risks here if we don't have simply designed products? Is it fear? Is it fear based? Like, if we don't have the right design, all these transactions are going to get messed up and we're going to lose billions of euros? Or is it more like, do they understand the value of design maturity and climbing that framework? How do you like sell that to the company?
It's a great, and I think the parallel is great. I mean, it's a real key challenge because, as you mentioned, it's, structure, even internally, you need to prove the value of design. I really focus with them, with the team on, how we can really structure and go really deep into the problem space. So we've spent a lot of energy into like our research strategy, really to understand what, are the key, change behavior, pain points of entrepreneurs. And by doing that, and by really making, those understanding precise and also really tangible, we also could focus on, specific use cases. So, for example, focusing on, like revamping part of our experiences, for example, for our bankers that used to switch from 10 or plus tools. So it was, impacting a lead time, and so we can reduce, for example, those lead time to, operate a loan, and obviously we can translate that in euros because it's,
Yeah.
you're giving your efficiency, and so those key really precise, challenges that also we were kind of fortunate to be able to communicate that within the organization to say, okay, we understand that this is a real problem, that's the real problem, and we express ourselves in a really tangible way, and this is the way we can correct that, we develop that, and then that's the impact with really precise metrics. So I think that's the first thing. Also, another thing that is really interesting is that our research helped us to also identify some new opportunities, new product experiences we could create. So we discovered at some point that SMB, so after COVID, and they were in need of small loans, and those small loans on the really just to have, in their cash flow management, just as a really express credit in a way.
Right.
And when we discover that in our research phase, we see that internally operating a loan for like 100k euro or 1 million takes the same time. So obviously it's not really interesting for us as a business, standpoint. And we couldn't actually operate those few loans, in few days. I mean, it's not, even though we could do that for like 1 or 2, it's not scalable. So we think how we operate our credit. And so we created a platform and we really understood this idea of speed. And so we worked about how we could create a 100% online platform, so no banker behind it, to operate credit. And so even in the design of the experience, everything is fast. So you arrive on the platform, you just enter your company name. We are doing a background analysis. You just answer a few questions. And if you are eligible, you can move on to your loan application. From there on, the entire process has been digitalized. It's take probably around 10, 15 minutes. During validating your identity, connecting your bank account so that we can accelerate the risk analysis. And if you match all the criteria, then you have your money 5 days after that. It's
Wow.
extremely fast. So by doing that and telling that story that we identify market segment where we weren't really present, we created experiences, and in terms of P&L, it has a huge impact on the bank business. This is a way also to express the importance of design combined with product and tech. So even in those kind of elements, you can really demonstrate and try to have like business, precise business KPI, and also acculturate and advocate about what is design. It's not about doing mockups and doing interfaces, about how you understand really precisely the behavior, the pain of your user, and you try to find solution and you iterate.
Yeah. Well, JB, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing these insights. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much to you. It was great.